the idea. School is not for you, she would always say. Your job is to serve this house. Sometimes Amara would secretly pick old newspapers or torn textbooks from the trash just to teach herself how to read. At night, when everyone slept, she would light a tiny candle and study quietly on the floor, but whenever the woman caught her reading, she would beat her, insult her, and destroy the books. Still, Amara refused to give up. Days turned into months, and months turned into years. Despite all the suffering, she remained kind, respectful, and hardworking. People in the neighborhood began to notice something special about her. They saw intelligence in her eyes and determination in her spirit. One elderly woman in the community took pity on her and secretly started teaching her after evening chores. Soon, a local teacher also discovered how brilliant Amara was and helped her get admitted into a public school. It was not easy. Amara combined school with housework, hunger, insults, and pain. There were days she cried herself to sleep, days she almost gave up. But every time life pushed her down, her dream pushed her back up again. She studied harder than anyone else. She passed her exams with excellence and eventually gained admission into medical school through scholarships and support from kind-hearted people around her. Years later, the same little girl who was once treated like a servant returned to her village as Dr. Amara. The entire community gathered in shock as she stepped out of a car, wearing a white coat with confidence and grace. The girl who was denied education had now become one of the most respected medical doctors in the country. But life had one final surprise waiting. One day, the same woman who once maltreated Amara became seriously ill and was rushed to the hospital. Weak and helpless, she looked up from the hospital bed only to see the doctor assigned to treat her. It was Amara. Tears filled the woman's eyes as shame covered her face. She remembered every insult, every beating, every cruel word she had spoken. Softly, she began to cry. "Please, forgive me," she whispered. Amara looked at her quietly for a moment before holding her hand gently. "Pain can change a person," she said, but I refuse to let it change my heart." And despite everything she suffered, Amara treated her with kindness. From that day on, the village never forgot her story, the story of a little girl who was denied education, rejected by family, and forced into suffering, yet still rose above every obstacle to become a light to others. Because sometimes the child people look down on today becomes the person the world celebrates tomorrow.
Hey, you like this kind of video, right?